Hello, all. Welcome to this fourth episode. So, in this series of videos, we are trying to understand the fan engagement motivation in IPL, that why fans are so passionate about a particular IPL franchise. So, in this episode, we have our special guest Anand with us. So, he started following IPL with Deccan Chargers and then he moved to Royal Challengers Bangalore, maybe because of Virat Kohli. We don't know yet. We will try to understand that whether Virat Kohli is the only reason or whether something else attached to it. So, without any further delay, I would like to ask you the first question that I ask all my guests: that since when did you start following IPL, and what was the reason that you started following a particular franchise so passionately?
So I started following IPL the first year when it started release because it was kind of new. Everyone in India, all of us are into cricket. Anything that gets us cricket into our homes is something that we really want to get ourselves into. So that is what brought me into IPL. And at that point, I did not know much, or I had this notion of supporting the team from where you belong to,
Right,
right? So I belong to Andhra Pradesh, and Deccan Chargers was kind of representing that in a way.
right,
So that is the first motivation that got me into it. It was not really a correct notion. That is something that I realized later on. But yeah, that is what got me into supporting Deccan Chargers. And yeah, so it was really crazy for me to see all these foreign players coming into India and playing with the Indian players. Right, that is something that is something that I felt. Yeah, it was right. It was kind of a different experience for me, right?
right,
And yeah, I think that is the biggest motivation for me that led me into watching IPL.
right. So there are 2 points that I could catch from your answer. One is that you started following Deccan Chargers because of their alignment with your local culture. Then second thing is that overseas players and Indian players mixture. So I think Deccan Chargers at that point of time was one of the franchises where you had perfect mixture of overseas players like Andrew Simons, Adam Gilchrist, Shahid Afridi, Herschel Gibbs, and your local players like VVS Lakshman, Venugopal Rao, and so on. So why did you shift from Deccan Chargers to RCB?
So yeah, it is not direct shift actually. So when I started watching IPL, that is what I felt in the initial seasons. Right, we finished last. We in the sense Deccan Chargers finished last that season.
Right,
But then they came back next season. They won the IPL.
right,
That was held in South Africa, right? So it was kind of like an experience that then the moment I started enjoying IPL matches is when I also understood two other things, which brought IPL more close to me. One was that it is kind of like we always have this in mind, even for the Indian players, right? A person supports a player, another person supports another player. We always want to see how they would compete against each other,
right,
right? This is also something IPL brought to us, right? That is something that we also got to witness. And the second thing was I also see that we now started supporting more local players as a result of IPL. They got a lot more exposure onto cricket,
right,
and I think these are the two other factors that really got me going into watching IPL. Uh, yeah, and yeah, then I supported Deccan Chargers for another couple of years until there was no longer Deccan Chargers.
right,
That is 2012, right? And 2012 was also the year when Sachin retired
right,
from international cricket, right? So
right,
I felt not the test, but at least ODIs, right?
right,
Sachin is my favorite player, right? Or was my favorite player. And I wanted to see Sachin at least once more on the ground. So I started supporting Mumbai Indians that 2013,
right,
right? And then 2013, and then Sachin was also leaving that year. And 2013 was the year when I supported, also had a favor for RCB because we saw all these entertaining innings from RCB where they scored the highest number of runs. There was a Gale storm,
right,
there was
right.
AB de Villiers, and that was the era of RCB. So I think once Sachin was also out of IPL, then I think that is what led me into supporting RCB, right? And then yeah, we started seeing Virat grow as a player.
Right.
Yeah, it all connected for me. I kind of found a replacement for my liking for Sachin in Virat Kohli.
Right, right. I think that's a perfect answer. But coincidentally, in the third episode, I interviewed another fan who belonged to Hyderabad. So he also started supporting Deccan Chargers at first, and then he moved to Mumbai Indians, just like you. And when the name change happened, Deccan Chargers to Sunrisers Hyderabad, he also felt the same, that somehow he lost that particular connect with the franchise. So can you explain what is the reason that you could not find that connect in Sunrisers Hyderabad that was there with Deccan Chargers?
For me, it was not the name change. For me, it was the fact that I wanted to support Sachin for one last time, or see him play as my favorite, and want to support the team he played in. Right.
Right,
And I think starting that season and the following seasons, I've stopped having a fanboy association to a particular team. I support a team, but then I
right,
wanted to watch IPL really,
right, right,
right? If you ask me, I have to pick one, I'm picking one. But then I really like watching IPL.
right.
But then it was Sachin's departure from international frame that led me into supporting Mumbai, and then Sachin's departure from Mumbai or T20 career, right?
Right, right,
Then yeah, I saw RCB as an entertaining team, and that the mindset of me also changed of watching IPL as a form of entertainment rather than just supporting and having fan clubs or something like that. I support RCB, but yeah, that's it. It's not yeah.
right. So your support comes from entertainment rather than performance. Because if that's the case, then you would have gone for CSK rather than going for RCB.
No, no. At that point, right, in 2013, it was RCB, not CSK. I don't see, for me, it's not winning the matches. It is the entertainment that counts more. I don't mind losing matches, really, because
Right,
I support RCB. You know that. I don't mind
right.
losing matches. So it is the entertainment that gets me more, really. So, but then I got into RCB. I supported RCB for the couple of years, right? Even 2016 was a very good year for RCB, right?
Yeah,
And then I stuck to RCB. I said, chalo, I'll just support RCB.
right. So in very simple words, so for you, hero worship matters more as compared to performance or the cricket aspect that is associated with it. So when I say hero
It's not
worship,
really worship.
yeah,
If I wanted to do a hero worship, I would have supported Mumbai Indians from the first season, right? That is not the case.
yeah,
It is more of a liking towards a particular player and wanting to see that player as or wanting to support that team, right? And not really a worship, because then I could be supporting CSK also, because I like Dhoni very much. Uh,
yes,
but yeah, it's not exactly that as well for me. It is just a frame of mind I got myself into, and I'm now supporting RCB. But yeah, I think I'm not still sure if that is a decision that I've taken based on some statistics or some metric, really, at this point. Now, at least at now, what is happening now.
right. So, so in your previous answer, you mentioned that the Gale storm that happened in 2013-14 seasons that made you a passionate RCB fan. But
Yeah.
now, since Gale is not playing for RCB, why didn't you shift from RCB to Kings 11 Punjab? So, are you a Gale fan
Yeah.
or are you
So
a Kohli fan, or now you have become a RCB fan altogether?
this is the season. So the Gale storm didn't continue much, right? But then RCB still gave some good performances in terms of batting, particularly bowling has always been a problem. Uh, so batting performances. So I'm a fan of having good batting innings rather than a bowling innings.
Right,
But I'll come back to that in a bit. I'll come back to that in a bit. But yeah, so that is the season that I started getting into RCB. Like, yeah, this is the time I'm supporting it. That is the time I also got into college, right? That is the first 2 years of my engineering. So you had to support a team and you had to favor the team when you were talking to your peers. So I started supporting RCB like that, right? And then I got into the social convention of me supporting RCB, and
right,
that continued until 2016, 2017. And then at that point, Gale moved out, right?
right,
Towards the end of my engineering, right? But then I was already into supporting RCB. So I just kept on supporting RCB. But regardless of that, right, we still had De Villiers and Kohli having some great partnerships and great scores during that time as well.
So
Again, yeah, so not something that is by distance. Again, not something that is derived out of any logic.
right, right.
Just yeah.
So I think the most rememberable knocks that have come in IPL have mostly came from RCB from a batting
Yeah.
perspective.
The batting perspective, the best and the worst, right? The lowest score is also
Yeah,
RCB's, I suppose.
yeah. So I think that's what made you a RCB fan. Okay.
Yeah, it's the entertainment that we get. And I think towards the end of my engineering time, or 2016, 2017, right? I got into this frame of supporting a team on the day of the match. If you ask me for a favorite, I'll tell you a favorite. But then I started watching IPL per match. I would have a favorite in that match, or in that particular match that they're playing, or I would support a particular player or a franchise based on a couple of players that were playing that match, or I wanted some players to see to win. So
Right.
yeah, I think now I'm into that mode where I'm now looking at matches or enjoying all the matches and want certain players to win, or certain teams to win. I really rooted for Delhi to win this year. That didn't happen, but yeah,
Right.
it's kind of like that. So I wanted Delhi to win because yeah, Delhi didn't see any wins. So
Yeah.
I wanted Delhi to win this year. I knew Mumbai would win, right? If I wanted
Right.
to support, I could support Mumbai and say that I supported Mumbai. Mumbai won, but I wanted Delhi to win because I kind of support the teams that don't have a chance of winning
Right.
in a way.
Right.
In a way,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see people who are down or lower to win and make sure that they go up and the cycle changes again.
Yeah. So I think that
Yeah.
that
So
completely
that is the other thing.
that completely justifies your passion for RCB.
Exactly. I want them to see at least once in the finals and once win the finals. I'll see when that happens, but yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So their social media campaign, every time fans say Isala Cup Namde, Isala Cup Namde, and they have been saying this since 2016 to, even before that.
Even before that.
Yeah. So so do you think the day RCB will win a cup, so the next season their fan following will drop because fans have nothing to talk about?
Uh, Not really. Right. The problem with RCB, if you look at this year's performance particularly, right, the start was very good, right?
Right.
Since the start was very good, people started having a lot more expectations from RCB as a team. The end did not go well during the playoffs and all of that. But then see, since RCB fans were more supportive of their team winning, I think if RCB wins a season, the fans become even more supportive of the team.
Right.
And I think yeah, they'll come up with another slogan that says they want another cup,
Right.
right?
Right.
I think yeah, because I think this season is a correct example of what RCB fans really want. They want their team to continuously win and yeah, win them trophies, at least starting with at least one, and then
Right.
going
Right.
up.
Yeah. So, as compared to Chennai Super Kings or Sunrisers Hyderabad, where local culture is a dominant factor, why a particular fan from that particular locality follows that particular franchise. So, usually you will see that people from AP or Telangana, they will follow Sunrisers Hyderabad, and people from Tamil Nadu and all, they will support Chennai Super Kings no matter what. But when it comes to franchises like RCB, they have pan India support because of players like Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers. So, so what do you think will happen once ABD stops playing for RCB?
Yeah, that's actually a good question, and that's a question I ask myself as well, right? If you see all these franchises, they have their local support.
Right.
RCB, on the other hand, is not a team that with a lot of local support, except for the slogan part, which never happens, or which
Right.
we'll wait to see when it happens. But then, yeah, I think RCB is mainly driven because of the bigger names that are playing for RCB, not the local support, right? We had Gale, we lost Gale, right? Now
Right.
they are only hanging up for two of the names that are playing, right? Kohli and De Villiers.
Right.
If yeah, I think RCB will start to lose support if these two are also dropped, because there isn't much that represent the team as well in terms of how their culture is, or even how their marketing or the campaigning is.
Right.
I don't think they bond towards Bengaluru really, and I think it's more towards who represents them or how they are playing. I think yeah, I agree to that, but yeah, I don't know. I myself feel that RCB will start to lose support if Kohli and De Villiers are out.
Yeah.
I myself might move out of RCB, supporting out of RCB.
Right, right. So, what do you think was the impact of releasing KL Rahul, a player who belonged to Bangalore, who belongs to Bangalore, a Karnataka player who was closely associated to RCB, and releasing them, and then now he is captaining another franchise. Similarly, there are some other examples also in RCB where they have released some local players. So, how did that impact them as a franchise to build a local brand?
I think this is something that I've already given as a statement before, but I think RCB in itself, I don't think is campaigning locally or wants to hit or target the local audience. I think RCB wants to target all of India really and wants to make sure that it has bigger names in the
Right.
team rather than having local names. I think that is I think the way in which they are marketing or going through all these auctions. Uh, Losing players is something that I'm not sure why that happens or why RCB management is taking those decisions because if you look at the track record, right, whenever RCB loses a good player and we see that that player has, after going from RCB to another club, right, or franchise, is playing better there. We
Right.
have Rahul, we have, I'm not saying Gale because Gale has always been playing, he is always Gale. But let's take Watson, for example. Watson did not play very well in 2016 for us, but then he went ahead and played two brilliant knocks in the finals, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I think it is something, maybe you can call it a bad luck or maybe something else, but I think RCB has this knack of losing players and those. Take Stoinis, for example, this year
Right.
he wasn't a good play or a player yeah in the last season, but yeah this year he proved himself in Delhi, right? So I think yeah this is something that happens quite a bit with RCB, and I'm not sure how as a fan I can react to it because I see a player going out of RCB and going into another club or a franchise and that player starts playing well there.
Yes.
Maybe I think people I think the other team should start picking up players that RCB has left and they'll start performing miracles for their team.
I think it's just part and parcel of the game. But I think these are two of the main reasons why their social media engagement is so high. One is that when will they win the cup? And second is that a player that RCB has released has performed so well for another franchise. These are two of the main discussions whenever a particular RCB match happens.
Yeah,
So
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So do you think
You had a
this is
question, yeah.
yeah, do you think this is a kind of their social media strategy that their whole content revolves around these two things and the engagement is also high?
Uh, I don't think exactly the second one is something that they're intentionally trying to do, trying to make or the players that they have left are performing miracles in other teams. I don't think they want to market on that really. I think that happens on its own, right? We are in the age of internet where things like this just have days and days of talk together on something very small. Kohli
Right.
leaving two catches or dropping two catches in this tournament is a big talk now because he doesn't drop catches, but he has dropped catches. Yeah, all these things. Rohit not being included in the team, right? Anything that has an impact on the social media is something, or anything particular to a big player or a player has a really big impact on the social media these days. So I think that the second part is not very intentional from the RCB as a marketing strategy, but yeah, I think that happens on its own. It's just the way today's internet helps along or doesn't help the team.
Right. Now, on a similar note, so the way Sunrisers Hyderabad used David Warner's skills to engage more with the fans with those TikTok videos, especially that Buttabomma song, what do you think is the reason why RCB did not put a lot of emphasis in utilizing Yuzvendra Chahal's skills and promoting that kind of content on Chahal TV?
So yeah, I want to answer this question in two three parts really, right? The TikTok videos of Warner, right? They started coming before IPL. right?
Yes.
Warner started posting TikToks on his personal account, right? And I
Yes.
think that is something that Warner had taken an initiative on by himself and has started taking making those videos, right? So
Yes.
I think that is something that Warner did, right? And seeing the way that fans were taking up or taking interest on those videos, I think he has started posting more and more videos, right? This was all during the
Right.
first initial days of the lockdown, right? And then I think, yeah, it's a good marketing strategy to then pick it up from there, right? They already had a
Yeah.
platform that was set up by Warner, and then using that was a good move for sure. But
Yes.
then that in itself was not something that SRH or the management might have thought of. It is something that happened because of Warner's close association with Hyderabad and the language there, or inputs from the fans. But I don't think that is something that SRH might have taken it up by themselves, right?
Right.
On the other hand, when we talk about Yuzvendra Chahal or what happens here, right? We have something called the fourth man series, right? Where a guy starts talking to all the players and does all that, right? I think since this is still an Indian player talking to the
Yes.
Indian media,
Yes.
and it's not a really big name. I'm not saying Chahal is not a great player or anything, but he is not a big name in cricket, right? So
Right.
I think using a big name would help, right? And also, it's just an Indian players supporting Indian franchise or Indian league, right? It
Right.
doesn't really bring that much of hype as compared to an Australian player supporting an Indian league and bringing up all of that, right?
Yes.
They're not at the same level, right? If someone like
Right.
AB de Villiers would have done that, then it would be same probably, or would have a similar impact, but not Chahal.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
think that is my take. The three things.
Yeah. Probably there is th- another argument can be given to this line of thought, that since SRH is more looking towards that Andhra and Telangana fan population, whereas RCB is looking at pan India population. So bringing in an Indian star would work more for RCB than for SRH. Don't you think?
That is correct. That is correct. But then what I'm thinking is happening, or what I think of RCB is RCB really doesn't want to connect itself to its local fans, right? Leave RCB alone. Leaving RCB, right? Bengaluru as a city in itself, I don't think has so much of influence as a city that takes part in its culture or heritage, right? It's just a city. It's kind of like that metro city where it's not really it is geographically in Karnataka, but I don't think the city itself has that vibe of being a particular place, right? Hyderabad, if you take Hyderabad for example, it has that vibe of being a part of Telangana, and there is a lot of culture amongst people or the fans that support it. Bangalore, on the other hand, right, I think it is probably because of the IT sector there, right? The fans are also not very local, right? The
Yes.
fans are all spread across. So that also makes the Bangalore culture spread across and does not really push it towards a particular culture in that sense, right? And so as a result, it's very difficult to engage an audience that is so broad, right? I think the bigger names would only be beneficiary here and not the smaller names, the players with huge fan following, someone like Virat Kohli doing something, right? Someone like a De
Yes.
Villiers doing something, or all of them doing together, right? Yeah, I think this is partially a fault from the marketing as well, but I think they are doing all these events and these are all coming up on YouTube, right? But
Yes.
I think it is also the fans that don't take it too much personally upon themselves to then spread this across over the internet and then make sure that it is viral or anything, right? So I think that is the main difference really. So if it's Warner doing a Telugu song or dance on a Telugu song, right? The people or the fans from Hyderabad take it very personally and would like to share it with everyone they know, right? That allows for engagement. But wherein for Bangalore, since it's very spread across, not all people would connect to what they're saying, and also it's
Right.
very difficult to create content that connects everyone.
Right.
I think that is the point.
So is it the personality of the captain and coach that makes sure that the personal connect with the fans is present with the franchise?
I think the captain, the coach, don't really have a say on this or the personality of them really, right? it is how the marketing team would like to use their presence to build something up,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because someone like Virat Kohli would definitely speak to everyone in India, right? Whatever he would say would definitely have an impact on everyone, but it is how they want him to say something and how they want him to represent the team,
Right.
right? Putting them in a couple of ads is just not enough, or on a couple of shows is just not enough to get that get a fan following to show that you represent something. I think that is what I feel.
Yeah. So so in a hypothetical situation, if you are running a marketing campaign for RCB and you have all these thoughts, then how would you focus your marketing campaign, and would you like to change their hashtags, the play bold and Ishala Cup Namde? What would your ideas be?
I think this play bold thing has been coming across from quite a few years, and I don't think it is related to RCB very much. It is more related to the brand Royal Challengers, I
Right.
think. And I think play bold is still okay. Play bold is good. But then Isala Cup Namde, if so, I think as a marketing, as if someone is organizing a marketing campaign, they have to stick with the line of thought they have, right? If they are going with Tisala Kapnamde, and then what they have to do is they have to stick all of their marketing campaign towards targeting the Kannada audience or the
Yes.
people from Bangalore. So
Yes.
people from Kannada or Karnataka then connect, right? If you're not doing that, you might as well go ahead and use an English slogan there, and then make sure that you appeal to the broader Indian audience and use Virat Kohli as the image for that. Because if you use Virat Kohli as an image and then use Isa Lakapnamde, then people would not connect for that. I think it is a line of the marketing that they'd have to choose and stick to it. They have to stick to one of the lines and not have both the lines run parallelly and then not have support on either of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I think that would be the marketing strategy to go to.
I think that's an absolutely amazing answer. But my follow-up question is, would you build your brand strategy on just one player, or would you rather build it around a core team of 4 or 5 members where even if a player leaves the franchise, you will still retain that brand image?
Yeah, so exactly that is what I wanted to say. It would not be definitely on one player, right?
Right.
For example, right, the brand image that SRH has gotten, or has, or the praise that the SRH has received is not just because of one player, right? It is because of all the players and them sticking to the or responding to the culture of Hyderabad or Telugu states really, and them trying to get their attention, right? Warner doing
Right.
something for the Telugu states, right? It is they're trying to target a particular audience, right? I think team as a whole should try to target, right? I think they should also bring the newer players to do this, because for someone like Virat Kohli or someone like AB de Villiers do not have so many years with them under the belt, uh, uh, them playing under RCB or playing at all, right?
Right.
But then someone like Devdutt, right, should also be included in all these marketing campaigns, so that a person like him who would stick to RCB, or person who is playing for RCB for a couple of seasons now, should also be part of that phase of the RCB thing, wherein all these players do something to connect to the fans. These fans need not necessarily, or the connect need not necessarily be local. It could be pan
Yeah.
India, but then the connect needs to be made with a bigger group of players.
Right. Yeah. Extending the same line of thought, do you think they have any other overseas face apart from AVD in their particular franchise?
uh, See, this is a question that we cannot answer this year, because the overseas players that could be a face of RCB have just joined this year, right? Someone like Finchi could play well, but or could be a good face to the franchise if he stays in RCB in the next season, right? What we have been seeing is overseas players other than De Villiers, and for until some years Gale, right? Most of them uh, were released by RCB and new players were brought in,
Yes.
right? So there isn't a consistent overseas face other than De Villiers, really. If you look at RCB team, there is no one who has been playing more than two or three seasons, right? Uh, so I don't think there is a face at the moment, but I think they should take this as a talking point, and then have a player that could see through, and not a player who's very much experienced, but who's as experienced, someone like as experienced as KL Rahul, for instance, or a Stoinis, who's not very experienced, that he would leave in a couple of years.
Right.
Someone who would have at least 5 to 6 years under their belt and then play for RCB. I think they should have a player like that first to then represent them. We don't have any, or RCB doesn't have any at the moment.
So as a RCB fan, do you like the constant changes that happen in the squad? So every time a squad is built before the start of the season, all fans feel that this year they have this kind of squad that can go all the way. But once the season ends, then they start talking about, yeah, we should release this player, we should release that player, XYZ and all. So as a fan, how does this
Uh, uh,
impact?
I think as a fan, right, I'm pretty sure they have analysts that can do better work than what I'm thinking or what my feeling is. But as a fan, what I understand from RCB is they are always trying to rectify the previous year's loss,
Yes.
right, and not really maybe trust on a player to perform well and stick to that player for a couple of more seasons. And by doing this, what happens is we lose players like Stoinis, for instance.
Yes.
Stoinis did not have a very bad season last year, but he had a very good season this year, right? Which is a lot of which gives a lot of confidence in the player, and it gives a lot of hope in that player, right? And then once a player is in your franchise for a couple of years, and you can move that player around into different positions and see where he fits in well, right? But if you just have one season with that player overseas, particularly because overseas players have not been, or we did not have good enough overseas players, or did not have a overseas player that's stuck for a long time with RCB, and I think this has caused a lot of problems. For instance, someone like Stain, who got back in, but yeah, I know when the chance was given to him, he was a little expensive during the first couple of matches. But I think someone like Stain should still stay in the team, and even though he's not bowling, we see all these videos that are being uploaded onto YouTube by RCB's channel. We see him mentoring the younger bowlers who are Indian bowlers, right? Someone like
Right.
Saini. So I think having overseas players that could also help the local players grow would also be very useful in terms of a management decision that they would do when they are picking up players. But yeah, coming back to retaining a team, I think RCB should try and stick to a team for a couple of seasons. They should definitely replace some players, but what we see is RCB is replacing a lot of players and retaining some of them.
Yes.
If you look at Chennai's team, or Mumbai's team is the best example, right? They had a
Yes.
team so good that they did not even use Chris Lynn.
Yes.
They bought him and they haven't even used him. So I think that explains how good of a team they already had and how much trust they had in that team, right? I know there are a couple of changes here and there. Ishan Kishan coming out in and out of the game. Surya Kumar Yadav sometimes being out, but I think Surya Kumar Yadav also played almost all of the matches, uh, right? So I think having a team that you can trust on, even when you have a couple of bad games, I think that you can build that trust only if you have the team for quite some time. I think RCB has to have a team that they can trust on and have the team for some time.
So I
If you look at Dickoff's performance this year, he did not start very well,
yes.
but they did not take him out and did not replace him with Chris Lynn and make some changes to the keeping. But they trusted in him, and then he delivered towards the end. I'm not saying he played very well, but he played
Yes.
well enough for him to make sure that he was worth being a part of the team. So I think something like that should happen with RCB. We don't see that happening, but yeah, that's something that we cannot say. Or
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. So do you think the problem of plenty has affected RCB over the years, season after season? So every year they had so many good overseas players that match after match, fans usually start asking questions that why a particular player is not in the 11, why a particular player is in the 11. And this has impacted RCB's performance because fans have been loyal. Fan base has only increased, but the performance has not been up to the mark.
Yeah, so this is again coming to the same line of thought that I already have, right? So you can have a couple of bad games, you can have some replacements going around in the team, right? but the basic structure of the team shouldn't change, right? For me, at least 8 players out of 11 should always be constant in the team that you have, and you should not make changes to core players that of the team regardless of their performance, right? Someone like again, I want to take example of Mumbai Indians because they have stuck to this plan, right? If you see, they don't replace so many players, right? They at least have 8, 7, 8, 9 players consistent across all team changes, right? They give chance to others, but then they don't change the core of their team, right? The
Right.
ones they give chance to try to prove themselves, and they become good replacements to players from the core team,
Yes.
right? Ishan Kishan was a very good example of someone who got back into the team, and he really proved himself and yeah, proved his worth in the team. And I think he'll probably stay as a starting level next season,
Yes.
right? Uh, he did not start this season, right? He
Yes.
will probably start next season. So I think it is more of sticking to a core team, first building that core team and then sticking to it, and not making so many changes that you lose complete control of the team, right? You should not have too many changes.
Yes.
And I think investing in good local players, local in the sense not specifically from Karnataka, but Indian players is always a good option. I think this is something that both Mumbai Indians do very well. I think Delhi has done this very well. Looking at the batting lineup, right, they have
Yes.
Indians all through the top order, right, and
Yes.
that is really helping them out because they could use two outsiders for bowling, and they proved very useful,
Yes.
right? I think that is another thing that RCB needs to take up and try to get in more Indian players, probably more capped Indian players to play under the team. That will definitely bring confidence in their skills. Someone like Parthiv Patel was not given a chance this season, but yeah, Parthiv Patel, whenever he has been given a chance, he has I think played well. But yeah, I think the fact that he's a keeper batsman is kind of put him into that position where he's not able to where they are not able to take him into the team. But I think many more Indian team players, or the ones who have already been capped or who have proven themselves well in Ranji. Someone like Devdutt was a very good find. I hope
Right.
he continues to play in RCB for next year. But yeah, I think RCB should invest more into local players and try to make sure that they have a set of local players that they could depend on,
Yes.
right? And also a set of foreign players that they could depend on. And they should have built up a core structure of 8 to 9, 7 to 8 players that they would definitely have in every game, and then replace the three and cycle them through and see where they fit in. I think that would probably be my strategy for the team.
Yeah, I think that summarizes our whole interview. But before we end, I think I would like to summarize what we have discussed so far. You can correct me if I am wrong. So, as a fan, what you seek from RCB is that thrill and entertainment that RCB batting lineup provides you. And irrespective of the result of the game, you still support RCB because you know that one day they will perform so well that it will compensate for the all the bad games that they have played so far in the season. And as far as their social media strategy is concerned, that you feel that instead of focusing on pan India or local, they should try to build their marketing campaign around one line of thought and have a core team around. So instead of just Virat Kohli and ABD being the face of the team, we should have 3 or 4 youngsters also who can be the part of core team as well as part of their marketing campaign so that the legacy of Royal Challengers can continue. So does
Yeah,
it
pretty
summarize
much.
what? Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
pretty much. And on the auctions part, I think I would like RCB to get more local players into the team, support them. Yeah, make sure they build the team around the local players and not around outsiders, because you only have four of
Right.
them and 7 of them. So that would be the correct choice of building your team, right? See Delhi, see
Right.
Mumbai, they're building their team around the local players or Indian players. I think that should help, because what RCB is not doing either. They're not building their team around the local players or the outsiders or the foreign players. So yeah, I think RCB should also enhance their strategy of building their team, or stick to the strategy of building their team around the local players and make sure that they have enough local players to do this. I think yeah, that would be the last closing statement.
Yeah, cool, cool. It was an amazing interview, and I hope the viewers will like your line of thoughts. And if they agree or disagree, they can surely comment on the video. And
Yeah, sure.
I hope that RCB will win a cup soon, and so that we will get a new slogan instead of Isa La Cup Namde.
Yeah, we definitely need a new slogan.
Cool.